There's going to be failures. You have to be ready to learn from them and take what you learned from that mistake and that learning and say, okay, that hurt, that stung. Nobody wins all the time.
Now we're going to be talking about beauty, brains, and the blueprint to your success. And I want to start with the blueprint because it takes a lot of grit and you've got that. And I don't know that people notice it at the very beginning when they talk to you because you're so happy, you're so friendly, it's easy to talk to you. But I know because I've seen part of it, there's a lot going on with that. and you dig in to make stuff happen. So let's talk about that blueprint because I think a lot of that has to do with your tenacity to just go.
Yes. Listen, and I apologize. Now dogs are barking. Guys, this is real life.
I can't hear them, so you're good.
Oh, perfect. Great. So here's the thing. This is what it's all about when it comes to the blueprint. I feel two ways about it. Okay, there's two ways about it. Number one, you do have to have a plan. You have to have a loose plan because just like in life, just like in all forms of business, there are curveballs get thrown in your direction. Like it's funny, when I look at my career, when I look at my makeup artist career, when I look at Mally Beauty, when I look at the other things that we're doing, it's funny growing up as a daughter of immigrant parents from the Philippines who were doctors. Well, my dad is still here. Thank you, Jesus. My mom passed away when I was 17, but this is the thing. They kind of had their plan, right? They went to medical school in the Philippines. They did their thing. They came to America. They went on a path. The thing that I always say to everyone is be open to a different plan every day. You can have you can have your list. You can say, I see it like this. I see it like that. I think that this would be the next great step. And I definitely believe in all of the vision boards and all of the journaling and all of the manifesting. However, you have to leave a little door open for the unexpected good and the unexpected not so good. So that is the thing. You have to be nimble. You have to be open. And that's the thing I think that I did best. Starting from being a makeup artist, I never set out, Tristan, to become a celebrity makeup artist. I never set out. I just knew in my heart that I loved makeup, that I loved to put makeup on people, whether it meant doing it for models, whether it meant doing it for fitness shoots, whether it just ended up that on my journey, I ended up going into the celebrity world. And that's where I felt at home and where I flourished. But I think that that's number one. It's just to be open to opportunity and not shut anything out. Phil and I are raising 3 young girls. And it's very exciting, a very exciting time, I think, because number one, none of them are very, how do you say, like, no one wants to be a doctor or a lawyer or whatever. Everyone is very, it's fun. Everyone's very artistic and very open. But we always say to them, don't think that just because this is what someone had done in the path before you, that's a path. You can be inspired by that path, but definitely open your mind to things that have never been. I will tell you this, the job that I have, the career that I have, did not belong to anyone else before me. I created that job and that life.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I think that was a very long answer to a
question. But that isn't for everybody either, because I think what we find is that you're telling me, and I love this, and I'm going to use it later on an Instagram live and quote you, okay? Be open to a different plan every day, even though you already have your plan. I love that. But not everybody looks at the world that way. How did you get to that point where you're looking at opportunities instead of looking at the closed doors and looking at the hard things that happen?
it's that everything, ugh, it sounds so cliche. I want to like punch myself in the face, but everything happens for a reason, meaning not the thing, everyone's like, I know, like whatever. But really, if you really think like that and not have it be that cliche bullshit that that everybody writes on a t-shirt, right? It really is. Everything does happen for a reason if you allow it to. And if you open your mind enough to say, what is the purpose for this particular, this setback or, this opportunity or this door or this thing that scares the duty out of me, right? There were a million times, Tristan, where I showed up for a job on the set or a live TV show or, a business meeting with an opportunity that you're scared, right? You're scared.
Oh,
But if you see it as like, this could open a door to a next thing. It's very funny. This sounds very, very silly, but I'll tell you a very quick story. When I was a young makeup artist starting out, I had a great agent who was like really ready to like show me the world and have me do all of these amazing things. But he was like, you have to do everything I tell you. He was a veteran in the business, absolutely trusted him.
okay.
And I have you're doing a job tomorrow. You're going to do American Baby magazine. I was like, American Baby magazine.
Okay.
I was like, I don't do babies. Babies don't get that's weird. He's like, no, you're gonna do a mom. She's gonna be holding a baby. It's a story, blah, blah, blah.
That's funny.
I know. And I was like, Jimmy, that's not Vogue. That's not Harper's Bazaar. He was like, listen to me. You just go and do it. This photographer, there's a buzzer, whatever. So I did it. I went. I'm not saying you should do everything everyone tells you to do, but I trusted him and I did it.
Okay.
Fade out, fade in. 6 months later, he gets a call that there's a cover for, I can't remember the magazine. Maybe it was like an InStyle or a fashion magazine, something I did want to do.
Okay.
And they booked you for it. I was like, me? It's like, what'd I do? How do they know? They must have known. I'm so fabulous. I'm like, no. He said, remember that American Baby magazine shoot I sent you on? He said, you made such an impression on that group that they remembered you. And they said, this is who we want for this shoot.
That's awesome.
It opened a door. You don't know why you're doing it sometimes, but you say to yourself, okay, I'm going to trust my gut, trust my instinct. Again, everything happens for a reason.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And I think we sometimes, when we're looking at it the wrong way, whether we're feeling down and we're like, no, that's not it.
Yeah.
We miss those possible opportunities. That's so cool.
Yeah. I like the word, the possible opportunities, the possibilities. Look, I can honestly say that in my life, and this again, another one of those cliche things that sounds so corny, but every time I did not listen to my instinct, it was wrong. It was bad. Those times in your life where you're like, I don't know why I feel compelled to do this. I don't know why, but I feel like it doesn't make any sense. It's not on my path. It's not on the thing. This is not my thing. Why? And then all of a sudden you do it.
Yep.
And you're like, oh, that's why. So, it's I've learned in my 50 years that it is absolutely important for you to trust your journey, listen to your instinct. And sometimes it's, and sometimes it is wrong. And sometimes there are hard lessons. And sometimes, shit just stinks. No pun intended. And you're just like, oh, okay. But there is something to be learned, even in the things that fail.
All right. So in that process of you looking at everything that you were presented as an opportunity, when you took those, what would you say the biggest challenges were in creating the business that you created? Because look, yes, you have had amazing opportunities to work with Beyonce and J-Lo and all these amazing celebrities. But what are the business lessons that you learned in growing your business that you think we can look to and say, got it, that makes sense. I didn't know that.
Sometimes you learn more from the mistakes than you do from the wins. You know, you really do. You absolutely do. It's I think, you know, as a business person, as a creator of product, as a salesperson, because I think that's the thing that I think I'm passionate about everything that I do, but I think one of the main things that I've learned is when I'm creating product for people, right? Because that's really what it's all about, right? Like this thing, this concealer is all of my years of working as an artist and working with faces and working with different skin tones. Like you have to, you know, you make these things, right? And sometimes you know you're right. You know in your heart you are right. They are going to love this thing, and oh, it's going to be so great. We're going to be able to make hundreds of thousands of people feel beautiful, and we're going to make $1 million a minute doing it. It's going to be so great.
Yes.
And then you go out there and nobody wants it.
Oh, that's the best. I mean, that's our biggest fear, right?
Yeah, yeah. And you're like, hello, everybody? You sure? And they're like, nope, not buying it. And you have to realize that even with those, and that hurts, right, Tristan? That hurts, honey, because that cost you money, and you had to make it, and you had to produce it, and then you got it sitting in the trunk of your car right now, honey, ready to give it away at the flea market if you need to. But you know what? You have to learn from those things. I completely forgot the question, but I just want everyone to know that I have failed many times.
I think you're answering it in that I was asking, what are the lessons that we can apply that you've learned to our businesses, right? And that's it right there.
But there's going to be mistakes, and there's going to be failures, and as much as, you know, maybe you have to be ready to learn from them and take what you learned from that mistake and that learning and say, okay, that hurt, that stung, but we're not going to do that again. And that's another thing I want everyone to know. Nobody wins all the time. Yeah, as much as I love social media, honey, and you know, and I know that I live on that Instagram almost to a fault, okay? That is all, everybody's showing you all the best of the best. That's why I do really try to show everything, even when things are not good, even when days are hard, even when we're sad.
Yeah, I see your memes that you choose sometimes. I'm like, okay, this is good. But it relates. I can relate to it.
Yeah. Yes. And that's the thing. Everybody loses. Everybody makes mistakes. Yeah. Everybody has failures. Maybe they're not shouting it from the, you know, from their megaphone. Of course, nobody wants to do that. But you know what? I do that sometimes. I really do. I feel like it's important to be authentic. I feel like it's important to tell people who look at everything in life and say, how come everybody, you know, this one's got it perfect, that one's got it perfect. No, nobody does. And there are hard days in business and in personal life. So
at what point, as you were starting to build everything, did you realize that you're like, hey, you know what? I can't do this alone. I'm going to need to start hiring people to take on this, to take on that, to take on that.
See, Tristan, how about the day before everything? Listen, I'm going to tell you right now, sitting here, I am not great at everything. I'm going to tell you that I'm not the greatest makeup artist in the world. I was blessed to have the career that I have, I believe, because I have talent as an artist. However, not the most talent. I look at other people's makeup, I look at other people's art, and I'm like, dang, how do they do that? That's amazing. But I found what I did best, which I believe was loving people being a part of a team, being able to help to lift people up, to make them feel like they could go out there and
Mm.
perform in front of, 200,000 people in a stadium, like, or whatever, like that kind of thing. That's what I focused on. However, I'm not the most organized. I'm not good, like all the numbers and the things and all that. I knew that I needed help from day one. Okay, so that was something that I have always relied on people that were better than me in many different areas to help me to be successful. I've always tried to have people come and support me in a way that helped me to thrive, not just survive, but to thrive, helped me to shine. However, also help them to shine and find
Mm.
better the things that they were really, really fantastic at, and giving them a place to show off. I've had some
Oh.
great assistants, great people who have helped me, that I've said, wow, this is really good for you. This is something that you should, we're gonna let you do more of that. And then find, Phil and I have always found it very exciting to find the things that people are good at and help them to grow and get better in that department, because everybody's got their strengths.
That's interesting. I don't often hear that. I see it, but I don't often hear it in the sense that people don't talk about that part. Whereas you bring in people to help your company grow, but it's almost silent, the fact that you're putting them in the place where they can shine. How do you make sure that those people shine in those positions?
Well, number one, a lot of it is energy, right? Like if you give someone a task or you say, hey, I need you to do this, and they go, okay. Or if you give someone a task and you say, hey, I need you to do this, and like, okay, great. So how do you want it done? Do you want it done this way? Because we could do it like this, or we could figure it out. Or you know what? Let me give you options, exactly how you want to see it. And then maybe we can do it like this. And it becomes more collaborative. And
I got it.
they're very excited about it. And then as, a business owner, as someone who is a quote unquote leader, although, I love, I'm a mama that way. I just love seeing people get excited and have passion for stuff. So that's when you've struck a chord with someone, and that they are going to, that it's not just a job for them at that point, it's a passion, which makes it more exciting for them, and they're going to give you more of that. Look, there's always stuff that you have to do that you don't necessarily want to do.
Yeah.
However, if you can do more of the things that you love,
Mhm.
and everybody, a perfect team doesn't exist, but a lot of people that are together, or even just a few people that are together, that everyone's doing what they feel strongly about and what they're passionate about and what they're good at, that's when it's magical.
How do you find is the best? Because I think you and I both function in the same realm of empowering people. That's why I was so connected with you. I was like, damn,
Yeah.
she's so amazing. Like I want to be like her.
Oh,
And
no.
yes, you have this power of empowering people naturally. And how is it that you approach your staff
Mhm.
so that you do present that to them without them knowing that it's like, this is a job, I have to do this? Because I think for some people like you, it comes naturally, but now you've been growing this amazing business for a while, that I think you've reverse engineered it, and you could be like, Tristan, this is how I do it. I approach it like this.
I
So
approach it like this.
there you go.
I could tell you, it is, I the business is an extension of how I live my life energetically. Okay. So here's the thing. It's funny because I'm always on Instagram and I'm always looking at the memes and the this and the that, right? And look, there's this funny thing, and I know this is, I don't know if this is silly to talk about, whatever, but there's this funny thing that especially women, but men too, can't use exclamation points or capitals or emojis in business emails, right? Like there's this whole big thing, girl boss thing, I don't know, whatever, that men write emails like this, and then women do apologize a lot more. We're very like whatever, whatever. I've never been like that. I've always been like, someone sends me an email, they did something great. I'm like, oh, hell yeah! Exclamation point. And I think that is what's refreshing in
Yeah,
business. You know what I mean?
it
And this is
is.
always the way I've been. I have a secret why I need an assistant. I need an assistant to help me write those really, like, I have a cousin who's like my sister, and she's in corporate America. And
Mm.
dang, I read her emails. I'm like, girl, how you wrote that? It's just like, yeah. I'm like, it sounds like a president of the United
You're like, can you write one for me, please?
States.
So
Yes,
good.
because there are times for that. But I do think that growing Mally Beauty and being a part of QVC, which is a obviously Corey and HSN is this ginormous, company, is you have to stand out a little bit. And if you're answering emails or you're communicating in a way that's not, I'm not saying you have to, again, blow roses out your butt all day long. Nobody does that.
No.
But if you can find a way to be human and be in touch with the fact that we're all working, right? And there's lots of different ways to communicate. But if you can be a bright spot in someone's day, I have the quote that's at the end of all my emails, the signature in my emails is a Maya Angelou, and it says, people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel.
That's
And
one of my favorite ones. That's so funny.
that is it. And the first time I read that, I got chills, Tristan, all over my body because I was like, yes, that is really why we're here on this earth, right? Is to make people feel seen, feel loved, feel
Yeah.
happy. And if you can be successful and make money and sell product or sell books or whatever, right? Then that's the bonus.
How do you guard your staff and those people that are around you from when you're not feeling like you're presenting who you really are? Because we all have shit days,
Yes,
right?
yes. I stay away from it. No. Look, that's, I think,
That's funny.
right? But I think that's part of it. To your point, I think it's being vulnerable to your team. And there is nothing wrong with sometimes saying, listen, I'm strong, I'm tough, I'm here for you, but we're all real people here. We're all real people here. And sometimes, you don't feel good or something really terrible happened. And you say, you know what? I feel like the business world now, thank God, is being a little more, look, there's always going to be tough. It's always going to be, you know, you got to work. I'm sorry, get over it. Check it at the door. I do believe that. I do believe in that. But there are times, as long as you don't abuse it, that you can say, hey, I need a mental health day. I need a thing. I need a moment, And that's when, if you have a
Yeah.
staff or a team that love you and you love them and you can come together, they'll pick up the slack on the days that you can't carry.
Interesting. Yeah. And you know what? You mentioned something there it's almost like don't abuse it, because I know that it's for some people, and I've seen you and I have seen it out in the world, right?
Mhm.
Where they're always using that card, right? And that's like, dude, no, you can't do that every day.
No, you can't do that every day. The one thing I don't like, like, again, I hate to keep talking about social media, but I'm always on it, is I don't like that culture where people bitching about their job. or like me showing up, 20 minutes late, like bragging that I showed up 20 minutes late with a Starbucks. Like,
No.
I don't like that. Like that kind of stuff makes me mad, because guess what? There is somebody down the street that would love to have your job, honey. And if
Oh
you're
yeah.
gonna sit here and brag that you're abusing it, or that you're like not grateful for it, then get out.
See
Get
you
out.
later.
Yeah, see you later.
I agree. I
Nobody,
agree.
no boss, no company, no business. Nobody needs that.
No, I agree. All right.
Yeah.
Allie, where do we find your product? How do we follow you? How do we get more of you?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. You really want that? So lots of things. So Mally Roncal, MALLYRONCAL, on Instagram and Facebook. I'm working on my TikTok, Tristan. I saw
I
yours.
saw that.
I know, I'm
I'm
trying.
following you. I'm following you.
I love you. I'm following you. But this is the thing. It's just hard, especially when you're in your, but this is good. This is getting us out of our comfort zone. So anyway, more TikToks. Let's see. I have a little sort of love side hustle called Positivity Preacher, which is it's basically just, an Instagram love fest, or, it's for my sensitive side. It's for the things that are like, Mally Beauty Instagram is very much like, F them if they can't take a joke and get over it. That thing. And then
That's funny.
and Positivity Preacher is more like gentle, I love you, we're here, we can do it, that kind of thing. And then of course on QVC, we have all Mally Beauty, mallybeauty.com. There's a lot. There's, what, it's all there. It's all there. But I'm so grateful and so happy and so honored that you invited me here to be with
Yeah.
I think when you texted me, I said, my answer was, anything that you ask me or anything that you're doing, the answer is yes.
Well, we'll have you on a lot more things too. You're just, everyone should get to know you. So it's a lot of amazing energy. So I hope you crush it tomorrow. I don't know if you like the word crush it, but go ahead.
Like crush it. I like all the words.
Okay.
I'm good with all
crush
the words.
It, kill it, do amazing with Wendy and Rachel, right? So
yes. And you keep doing I'm again, yes, the minute that I met you, I said, I went to Phil, I said, this is an incredible human, like an amazing human, and your energy and your spirit, and you can just feel so much just by looking at you and seeing all of your everything you put out there. You want to help people. You love people. And I love that about you. I can feel it so much. And I'm just so grateful that the universe brought us together. And again, anything you need, yes, consider it done. And
same
I don't
on this end.
everybody, honey.
Thanks, Mally. Well, I'm quoting you today, so I'll tag you.
All right,
Thanks,
my love.
Mally.
Thanks, everybody. See you next time.
Thanks, everybody.